Chosen one. Something happened on a night you don't even know the full story of yet, and your soulmate has not been the same since. Right now, this very moment, something inside them is shifting, and deep down you already feel it too. That is why you are here. That is why this message found you today. Before we go any further, I want you to comment "My heart is open" below right now so the angels know your heart is open to receive this. This simple act tells the universe you are here, you are listening, and you are prepared for what is about to be shown to you. Dear soul, what I am about to share with you is not something small. It is something the angels have been holding on to, waiting for the right moment to bring it to you. Your soulmate went through a night that changed something deep inside them. It was not just an ordinary night. It was a night of awakening. A night where a truth they had been hiding from themselves finally rose to the surface. And that truth has everything to do with you. I know your mind might already be racing with questions. What happened? What does it mean? Is it good or bad? I promise you, by the time we reach the end of this message, everything will feel clear. But first, I need you to trust the process and stay with me, because every piece of the story matters, and missing even a small part could leave you confused about what comes next. The angels were there that night. They watched over your soulmate. They felt every emotion move through their heart, every doubt, every flicker of realization. And what they saw was not a small thing. It was the moment your soulmate's heart finally spoke louder than their fear. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Please check the channel name carefully. It's Angel's Message for You. This is our only official channel. Beware of copycat and fake channels. Stay connected to the original source to receive authentic angel messages and true blessings. A very special thank you to Elaine and Freddie for sowing your seed for Soulmate here through Ko-Fi link. Super thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you always. Thank you for your beautiful support. Blessings always. Here is what you need to understand before anything else. That night was never really about anyone else. It was always about you. At first, your soulmate may not have understood what was happening inside them. They may have believed the night was just a passing moment, something small, something that meant nothing. But something shifted in them, something they could not explain, and the harder they tried to push it away, the stronger it became. There was one single moment that night where their heart spoke louder than their mind. A moment so clear, so undeniable, that they could not look away from it anymore. And in that moment, a quiet whisper rose up inside them, one that said, "This is not where I belong." That whisper was about you. No matter who they were with that night, no matter what they told themselves they were searching for, their heart kept circling back to one place, and that place was you. The angels watched their hands tremble, watched the way they looked around and still felt an emptiness they could not explain. Because their heart was never fully there. It was with you the whole time. It helps to remember that people are not always afraid of the wrong things. Sometimes what looks like resistance is actually the sign of something real trying to break through old walls. A shallow connection rarely creates this much inner struggle. If your soulmate felt nothing meaningful toward you, none of this hesitation would even exist. There would be no internal battle, no sleepless nights, no quiet moments of thinking about you when they least expect it. The very fact that they are struggling this much is proof of how deeply this connection reaches them. I know this might bring up a mix of feelings for you. Maybe relief, maybe confusion, maybe even a little hurt. That is completely normal, and I want you to feel whatever comes up without judging yourself for it. But please hear this clearly, dear soul. What happened that night was not a loss for you. It was a revelation. It was the moment that finally forced your soulmate to face a truth they had been avoiding for far too long. Chosen one, right now, your soulmate does not fully know how to hold this truth yet. That is why they may seem distant. That is why their actions might not match what their heart already knows. They are not pulling away because they do not care. They are pulling away because what they feel scares them more than anything else in their life right now. If your heart feels like this message is speaking directly to you, comment the word truth below. Let the angels know you are ready to keep going, because what comes next explains exactly why your soulmate is acting the way they are, and why none of this means what you might fear it means. I want to pause here for a moment, because I know how easy it is for doubt to creep in when you have been waiting this long. Maybe a part of you has already started telling yourself that this is wishful, thinking that you are hoping for something that will never actually happen. I want you to gently set that thought aside for now. Doubt is loud, but it is not always true. The angels do not send messages like this one to confuse you or to give you false hope. They send them because the timing matters, because your heart needed reassurance right now, in this exact moment, before you were tempted to give up on something real. Think back for a second to the small moments that never quite made sense to you. The times you felt a pull toward this person out of nowhere. The times their name crossed your mind for no clear reason. The times you noticed a sign, a number, a song, a feeling that seemed to point back to this connection. None of that was random. Your soul has been quietly aware of this truth long before your mind ever caught up to it. That is why this message feels familiar to you, even though you are hearing these exact words for the first time. Here is the part so many people struggle to understand. When the heart finally reveals something this deep, it does not always feel like joy right away. Sometimes it feels like fear. It can shake a person to their core and make them question everything they thought they wanted out of life. That is exactly what is happening inside your soulmate right now. The angels have shown me the internal battle taking place inside them. Their heart has already spoken. It has already chosen. But their mind is still resisting, still trying to make sense of something that does not follow logic. This love was never meant to make sense in a logical way. It is deeper than that. It is written into the soul, into something far greater than the everyday thinking mind. Your soulmate spent time convincing themselves they needed something different, something outside of this connection, in order to understand their own heart. But after that night, they began to realize that everything they were searching for was already with you the whole time. And dear soul, this realization is shaking them, because accepting it means letting go of every excuse and every wall they had built to protect themselves. This is often how the deepest kinds of love work. They rarely arrive quietly and easily. They tend to ask something of both people involved, a willingness to grow, to release old fears, to become a slightly different, more open version of themselves before the connection can fully bloom. Your soulmate is right in the middle of that growth right now, even if it looks messy or uncertain from where you are standing. Growth almost always looks messy from the outside before it settles into something beautiful. To fully open up to this love means stepping into the unknown. There are no guarantees there, no safety nets, only the undeniable pull toward you that they cannot explain away anymore. This is why they are pulling back right now. Not because they do not want this, but because they are afraid of exactly how deeply they do want it. The angels have shown me how your soulmate wakes up with thoughts of you already there. How they feel your presence even in quiet, empty moments. How they try to distract themselves with other things, only to find every road, every thought, every quiet sign leading right back to you. And still, they hesitate because choosing this kind of love is not just a choice. It is a transformation. It asks them to be vulnerable in ways they have never allowed themselves to be before. Chosen one, I want you to hear this clearly, because it matters more than anything else I could tell you right now. Their distance does not mean rejection. Their silence does not mean indifference. Their hesitation is actually proof of how much you mean to them. If their heart was not already bound to yours, none of this inner struggle would even be happening. They would simply walk away without a second thought. But they cannot, and that alone tells you everything you need to know. I understand that waiting like this is painful. You want answers. You want clarity. You want reassurance that this is really happening and that you are not imagining any of it. So let me remind you gently, what is truly meant for you can never actually be taken away from you. Right now, your soulmate is standing in front of a door they are afraid to open. But the angels are with them, quietly guiding their heart, reminding them that love is always stronger than fear. While you wait for this door to open, please do not forget to take care of your own heart too. Waiting does not mean putting your life on pause or measuring every day by whether they reached out or not. The angels want you to keep living fully, keep doing the things that bring you joy, keep nurturing your own peace of mind. A calm, grounded heart is far easier for love to find its way back to than a heart that is anxious and exhausted from watching the phone. This is not about pretending you do not care. It is about trusting that the outcome is already being taken care of on a level you cannot fully see yet, which frees you to simply live your life in the meantime. Some days will feel easier than others, and that is completely normal. Some days you may feel a quiet peace about all of this, and other days the waiting may feel heavy. Both feelings are allowed. What matters is that you keep choosing to trust, even in the moments when trusting feels hard. Every time you choose peace over panic, you are helping to keep your own energy calm and open, and that openness is exactly what allows this connection to unfold the way it is meant to. If you feel ready to receive the next part of this message, comment the phrase, "I trust this" below, because what I am about to share with you now reveals the moment their heart finally begins to surrender. The time has come to talk about what your soulmate has been keeping hidden, not just from you, but from themselves as well. This truth has been buried underneath fear and wrapped in silence, yet the angels have witnessed all of it. Even while they seem distant, even while their words do not match what their heart already knows, a decision has already been made deep inside them. They may not have said it out loud yet. They may not have even admitted it fully to themselves. But somewhere in their heart, they already know exactly what they feel for you. That night only confirmed something their heart had known for a long time. No matter what happened, no matter how hard they tried to convince themselves otherwise, there was one moment, one single undeniable moment, when they realized there is truly no one else who could ever take your place. At first, they tried to brush the feeling aside, telling themselves it was confusion, a passing emotion, nothing more. But the angels saw the way their body reacted, the tightening in their chest, the way their mind scrambled to explain something that could not actually be explained with logic. This love was never meant to be logical. It is something deeper, something written long before this lifetime began. Something that reaches beyond ordinary time and cannot be ignored no matter how hard someone tries. Right now, your soulmate feels pulled between two forces. One part of them wants to stay in the life they already know, the version of themselves that feels safe and predictable. The other part is being pulled toward you, toward the love their soul has quietly been waiting for this entire time. Dear soul, before we uncover what truly happened during that unforgettable night, I'd like to invite you to do something meaningful for your soulmate journey. The bond between soulmates is precious, and sometimes we don't know what our soulmate is facing behind closed doors. Yet God sees every moment, and his angels can surround them with love, peace, and protection wherever they are. If your heart is calling you to cover this connection with an extra layer of love, faith, and prayer, you can sow your seed for your soulmate through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. This simple act can become a heartfelt expression of your intention, asking the Lord to watch over your soulmate, surround your connection with divine light, and guide both of your hearts according to his perfect timing. If you feel led to do so, thank you from the bottom of my heart. May your kindness return to you multiplied, and may your soulmate journey be filled with peace, hope, and divine guidance. Amen. Let's continue with divine message. This is exactly why they have not said the truth out loud yet. Saying it makes it real. Admitting it means surrendering fully, and once they do, there is no turning back. But please understand this, dear soul. Your soulmate is not running away from you. They are running from the intensity of what they feel, because this love does not feel small or ordinary to them. It feels enormous, uncontrollable, and that intensity is what frightens them. No matter how far they try to go, no matter how much they resist, the truth stays exactly the same. Their heart belongs to you. In the quiet moments, when the world goes still and there is nothing left to distract them, you are the only one who appears in their mind. The memory of that night stays with them, not because of what actually happened, but because of what it revealed. Something inside them cracked open that night, and even though they have tried to bury it again, the angels already know it cannot stay hidden forever. You may be wondering when they will finally stop resisting, when they will finally say the words you have been waiting so long to hear. I want to gently tell you, it is closer than you think. The weight of carrying this truth alone is becoming too heavy for them, and soon they will reach a point where holding it in is simply no longer possible. If you are ready to receive this next part of the message, comment the words, "I am ready" below, because now I will share with you the exact moment everything begins to shift for good. That night was not just a passing moment in time. It was the moment your soulmate's heart truly woke up. They may not have fully understood it in the moment, but something profound happened, something they could not explain and could not ignore. It felt like something greater than themselves reached in and unlocked a truth that had been buried far too long. And what was that truth? That no matter where they go, no matter who they meet, no matter what they try to convince themselves of, you are the one their soul has always longed for. At first, they tried to rationalize it away, calling it a passing thought, a random memory, nothing important. But as the night continued, the feeling only grew stronger. The more they tried to enjoy the moment they were in, the more an unexplainable emptiness crept in. They looked at the people around them and felt nothing close to what they feel when they think of you. In one small, quiet second, their heart whispered words they were not prepared to hear. "This is not where I belong." That was the exact moment everything changed. The angels felt the shift in their energy. They saw the tension in their body, the way their breath caught when the realization hit fully. And in that moment, your soulmate knew the truth. But knowing something and accepting it are two very different things. Even though their heart had spoken clearly, their mind immediately began to resist. Instead of embracing what they now understood, they panicked. Instead of accepting it calmly, they fought against it internally, because this realization meant something that felt terrifying to them. It meant that everything they believed about themselves, about their feelings, about the direction of their life, needed to be re-examined. That is never an easy thing for anyone to face. Picture standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down into the unknown, knowing that one step forward means there is no going back. That is exactly how this moment felt for your soulmate. Choosing you, accepting this love fully, and surrendering to what their heart already knows means stepping into something they cannot fully control. And right now, they are not afraid of you. They are not afraid of love itself. They are afraid of what it means to love you completely. Because with you, this connection is not just romance or passion. It is a soul-level bond so deep that it demands real transformation. And transformation is never easy for anyone. So they did what most people do when something feels overwhelming. They pulled back. They told themselves it was just a passing moment of weakness, something they could suppress and move on from. They convinced themselves they could keep living as if nothing had changed. But here is what they do not fully understand yet. Once the soul sees a truth this clearly, there is no unseeing it. It can be buried for a while, avoided for a while, but it will keep resurfacing, growing stronger and louder each time, until it becomes impossible to ignore any longer. I know you may be feeling some hurt right now, wondering why, if they felt all of this so clearly, they are not already standing beside you. The honest answer is simple. They are still trying to resist something that is ultimately inevitable. But here is where everything begins to shift, because what they are feeling cannot be silenced forever. Very soon, they will reach a point where they have no choice left but to face it directly. During this time, keep your eyes open, because the universe often speaks in small, quiet ways before the bigger moment arrives. You might notice repeating numbers appearing in random places. You might have a dream that feels more real than an ordinary dream. You might suddenly think of them right before they reach out, or feel a strange sense of calm wash over you for no clear reason. These small moments are not coincidences. They are gentle nudges, little reminders that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even on the days when it does not feel that way. You do not need to chase these signs or search for them constantly. Simply stay open. Notice them when they appear, thank the universe quietly for the reminder, and keep moving forward with your own life. The more you try to force this process or control the timing, the more resistance you tend to create. But when you relax into trust, you make space for things to unfold naturally, in the way they were always meant to. There is a moment coming, a moment when your soulmate will no longer be able to fight what they feel. A moment when everything they have tried to hold back comes rushing forward all at once. When that moment arrives, they will find themselves standing at a crossroads. One path leads back to comfort and familiarity, the life they already know. The other path leads to you, to a love that is deeper, greater, and far more meaningful than anything they have experienced before. And in that moment, they will finally have to choose. I want to ask you something honestly. Are you truly ready for what comes next? Because what happens after this will shape everything that follows. If your heart feels open and ready to receive this next revelation, comment the phrase "divine love" below, because now I will share with you the moment when their heart finally surrenders completely, and what happens right after it does. The moment is drawing closer, dear soul. The moment when your soulmate will no longer be able to run from what they feel, no longer able to deny the truth that has been quietly growing inside them since that night. The angels have witnessed every hesitation, every internal struggle within their heart, and now they are ready to show you what comes next. Your soulmate is nearing a breaking point. They have spent so much time and energy resisting, trying to convince themselves they could keep going as if nothing had shifted inside them. But deep down, everything has already changed. That night was not simply an experience they can file away and forget. It was a revelation, and no matter how much they try to suppress it, the truth continues catching up with them. The angels have shown me that your soulmate carries this weight with them every single day. They wake up with thoughts of you already present. They fall asleep with those same thoughts lingering. And even when they try to distract themselves with other things, their mind always finds its way back to you. Because, dear soul, you are not simply someone from their past. You are part of their path forward, and that kind of connection cannot be pushed aside forever. You may notice small shifts in their behavior during this time, even before the bigger moment arrives. A message that comes a little sooner than usual. A question that feels more personal than before. A softness in their tone that was not always there. These small shifts are easy to miss if you are only looking for one big, obvious sign. But the angels want you to notice the quiet ones too, because surrender rarely happens all at once. It usually begins in these small, gentle ways before it becomes something undeniable. Right now, they are standing at the edge of an important decision. They already know they cannot keep living inside denial. They already know they cannot keep pretending this love is not real. They know deep down that they are losing the quiet battle against their own heart. The real question is no longer whether they will surrender to this love. The only real question left is when. The angels have shown me that something is coming, something that will finally push your soulmate to face this truth directly. It might arrive as an honest conversation. It might come through a dream or an unexpected sign that feels too meaningful to ignore. It might even be something that shakes them deeply enough that continuing to run simply becomes impossible. When a connection is guided by something greater than ourselves, the universe always finds a way to bring it back together in the end. You might wonder why this process takes time at all, why the angels do not simply make this happen instantly if it is truly meant to be. The honest answer is that real, lasting love needs a solid foundation, and that foundation cannot be rushed. Your soulmate is not just learning to accept their feelings for you. They are also learning how to let go of old fears, old patterns, and old beliefs about love that may have held them back long before you ever came into their life. This inner work matters because it is what allows them to show up for you fully, instead of only halfway. What is being built here is not a quick spark that fades. It is something meant to last, and things that last are always worth the wait it takes to build them properly. I know you may feel like you have been waiting a long time already, patiently, faithfully, hoping for the moment when they finally step forward. I want you to know clearly, your patience has not been wasted. The angels have already seen the path ahead, and they have shown me exactly what your soulmate will do next. At first, they will hesitate one more time, trying once again to quiet the voice inside them that keeps calling out for you. But this time, that attempt will not succeed, because the love they have been holding back can no longer stay hidden. There will be a moment when they realize they simply cannot continue moving forward without you in their life. It may happen suddenly. It may catch them off guard. But when it happens, they will know without a doubt that the time has finally come. They will reach out to you, maybe through a simple message, maybe through some unexpected sign, maybe in a way you never could have predicted. But they will make a move, because their heart is already pulling them steadily back toward you. Here is something important the angels want you to understand clearly. When they finally do come forward, they will come to you humbled, not with pride, not as the same person who once hesitated and pulled away. They will come to you as someone changed, because now they finally understand what they could not see clearly before. Love was never about control, and it was never about pure logic. Love lives in the soul, and their soul has already chosen you. This kind of surrender is not weakness. It is actually one of the bravest things a person can do, choosing to set aside pride and fear in order to be honest about what their heart truly wants. Not everyone reaches this point. Many people spend a lifetime avoiding this kind of honesty simply because it feels too vulnerable to face. The fact that your soulmate is being guided toward this moment says something meaningful about the depth of what exists between you, something rare enough that it refused to be silenced or ignored forever. I know you are longing for this moment. I know you have stayed patient, trusting that your paths would eventually align again. That moment is drawing near now. But before I share the final part of this message, the part revealing when they will finally say the words you have been waiting so long to hear, I need to ask you something honestly. Are you truly ready to receive this love fully? Because once this moment arrives, everything shifts. Before I share that final message, I want to say something important about you, dear soul, not just about your soulmate. This entire journey has never only been about waiting for someone else to be ready. It has also been about you becoming ready too, growing into the version of yourself who can receive this kind of love fully, without fear, without shrinking, without holding back out of old wounds from the past. If parts of this waiting period have felt uncomfortable, it is often because something inside you has also been healing and expanding at the same time. Take a moment right now to think about how far you have already come. Think about the patience you have shown, the faith you have kept alive even during the quiet, uncertain stretches. That strength did not come from nowhere. It came from a deep, quiet knowing inside you that this connection is real and worth honoring. That same strength is exactly what will allow you to receive this love fully when it finally arrives, instead of doubting it or pushing it away out of fear that it is too good to be true. You are allowed to believe that good things are coming to you. You are allowed to believe that this love is real, that it is close, and that it was always meant to find its way back to you. Believing this does not make you naive. It makes you someone who trusts the deeper wisdom of your own heart, even when your mind wants proof first. Dear soul, before we continue, I'd like to invite you to do something truly meaningful for your soulmate journey. The bond between soulmates is precious, and at times, it can feel vulnerable to negativity, envy, or the evil eye from the world around us, even when no harm is intended. If your heart is calling you to cover this connection with an extra layer of love, faith, and protection, you can sow your seed for your soulmate through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. This simple act can become a heartfelt expression of your intention, inviting the angels to watch over your soulmate connection, surround it with divine light, and guide it as it continues to grow in the right time and in the right way. If you feel led to do so, thank you from the bottom of my heart. May your kindness return to you multiplied, and may your soulmate journey be filled with peace, hope, and divine guidance. Let's continue with the angel message. If your heart feels open and ready, comment the phrase "Love's return" below, because now I will share the final message with you, the one confirming everything you have been hoping for. Dear soul, the moment you have been waiting for is finally drawing near. Every hesitation, every quiet moment of silence, every internal battle within their heart has been leading steadily toward this final truth. Your soulmate has spent so much time resisting, trying to suppress the overwhelming emotions growing quietly inside them. But now they are realizing something that changes everything. They cannot keep fighting what their soul already knows. They cannot keep pretending that what happened that night was simply nothing, because it was not nothing. It was real, it was raw, and it was the exact moment their heart made its choice, even while their mind was still too afraid to accept it fully at the time. Fear can only hold someone back for so long, and now the truth has become impossible to keep denying. Right now, they stand at a crossroads. On one side sits the familiar, the safe, the predictable life they have always known. On the other side stands you, the one connection that has ever made their soul feel truly, fully alive. And now, dear soul, they must finally choose. The angels continue whispering into their heart, gently reminding them that love was never meant to be feared, that love is not a burden to carry, but a genuine gift to receive. And that is exactly why very soon you will begin to notice a shift. The same person who has felt distant, who has struggled to fully face their own emotions, will slowly begin moving toward you again. At first, it may be something subtle, a small message, a quiet sign, a moment of vulnerability that was not there before. But make no mistake, dear soul, this is the beginning of their surrender. They cannot hold this in much longer. The weight of this love, the truth that has been quietly pressing on their heart, has become too heavy to carry alone. And now they are finally ready to lay it down in front of you. They are ready to speak the words they were once too afraid to say out loud. I know now what my heart truly wants, and it has always been you. Dear soul, this moment has been carefully prepared for you, and the timing has been aligned in a way that is bigger than either of you fully understands. Now is the time to prepare yourself, because when they finally come forward, it will feel unlike anything you expected. They will not return as the same person they were before. They will return with a heart that has been changed, because now they can finally see what they could not see clearly before. Love was never meant to be endlessly questioned. Love is meant to simply be lived, fully and openly. And now, dear soul, this is your time to receive the love that was always meant to be yours. Your time to step fully into this connection, free from fear, free from doubt, ready to love completely and openly. The angels are gently guiding them back to you, and soon you will witness it with your very own eyes. If your heart feels open and ready to receive this love, comment the phrase, "I welcome this love," below, so the angels know you are prepared to receive everything that is coming your way. Dear soul, from this point forward, it is only a matter of time. What is meant for you is already being set into motion, quietly, steadily, exactly as it should be. Your story with this person is not ending here. In many ways, it is only just beginning. There is no need to rush this feeling or force it to feel bigger than it does right now. Simply let it be what it is, a quiet, steady sense of hope settling into your chest. Some truths do not arrive with fireworks. They arrive softly, gently, like a warm hand resting on your heart, letting you know that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even in the ordinary, quiet moments of your day. Take a slow breath right now and let yourself feel this truth settle gently into your heart. You are not alone in this waiting. You are not foolish for hoping. You are simply someone whose heart has recognized something real, something worth waiting for. Trust the timing of your life. Trust that what is truly yours will always find its way back to you, in exactly the way it is meant to. And if this message reached you today, know that it was not by accident. It found you because you needed to hear it, because your heart needed this reminder, and because somewhere out there, another heart is quietly making its way back to yours. As you go about the rest of your day, try to carry this feeling of calm with you instead of anxious anticipation. You do not need to keep checking for signs every hour or replaying every past conversation in your mind, searching for hidden meaning. Peace is not something that arrives once everything is finally settled. Peace is something you can choose right now, today, simply by trusting that you are exactly where you are meant to be in this story. Every love story unfolds in its own time, in its own way, and yours is no exception. Some connections move quickly, and others take a slower, quieter path before finally coming together. Neither path is wrong. What matters is that the connection is real, and everything you have felt, sensed, and quietly known in your heart about this bond has not been imagination. It has been your soul recognizing something true long before your mind could fully explain it. So take a deep breath, dear soul. Let your shoulders relax. Let your heart soften. You have done the hard part already, which is staying open, staying hopeful, and staying true to what you feel, even when it would have been easier to give up. Now it is time to simply let the rest unfold, trusting that the same love that brought you this message today is the same love quietly working behind the scenes to bring your paths back together, in exactly the way and exactly the time that is meant to be. Thank you for staying with this message until the very end. Wherever you are right now, whatever you are feeling in this moment, know that you are seen, you are supported, and you are deeply loved, even during the waiting. Carry that truth with you, and let it be the quiet strength that carries you through until this beautiful chapter of your story finally begins. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $11, $22, $33, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.